I am on my way to become a published author. I am tired of waiting around to become one, and I am going to do it this year. Let me start by saying hi, I'm Fiona, and you might know me if you've been around the fanfiction or Wattpad circles. I've written many fanfics from when I was younger on fanfiction.net. A lot of them under like animes like Shugochara, or I did Danny Phantom. Just a lot of fanfictions under the name Shelley Cullen. That was my original name. I've also been on the Wattpad scene. I was under Shelley Cullen, and I was also under Super Hypnotic Love. Now, if you look up that story, I would say I've had some pretty good success over the years with writing. A lot of my stories hit 900 reviews for fanfiction, which I think is pretty good for fanfiction.net. On Wattpad, I have a couple stories that have a few thousand views. One of my highest rated ones has 1 million reviews. However, I would not judge that story too harshly. Just because I was 18, I think, when I wrote it. A lot of my fan fiction and stories online are purely for fun. They weren't super great in terms of story. The plot was kind of all over the place. The characters were lackluster. They were mainly just about the romance. That's what I was doing back then, which I still love, I still plan to do, but I want to give a little more depth to my writing. That is my goal. You might also know me, this is an app that closed down a while ago, but K-pop Amino, I think my username was like Onachi or something. I created the BTS cheesy horror screenshot games. Those were some fun little screenshot games. I think that app is gone, so I don't know if you guys will be able to find that again. But if you know me, shout out to you. That was also me. I wrote those as well. Those were fun little games, but that is my background in terms of stuff I've written in the past. I also would like to say that anyone who's in the same boat as me, who is trying to write a novel, anyone can do this. And I truly believe that. When I was younger, since preschool, I started out in speech therapy. I was in resource. I was below average with reading, writing. I did not like to read when I was young. Yeah, I liked to tell stories on fan fiction, but I did not like reading novels. And I think the problem was I didn't find what I liked when I was in elementary school, because obviously now my biggest thing to read is romance. Like, if you find me reading a book, unless it's nonfiction, like 99.9% of the time, if the main plot is not romance, there is a romance in there. I love romance novels, and it's probably one of the big reasons why I didn't like to read as a kid very much, because romance didn't really appeal to me till like I think 6th grade or something. The first stories that I read that really got me on track to reading, guys, sorry if it's a cliche, Twilight. That was my bread and butter. I read that book in 2 days, which, if you look it up, it's nearly 500 pages. And I was 12, and I graduated from like resource and speech therapy in like after 4th grade. So I was still kind of new into regular classes, but that's where I was. I ended up going into advanced composition by my senior year of high school, and I told my teacher about my experience in resource and speech therapy, and he said he never could have even be able to tell by the way I was writing that I was in speech therapy and resource. Which, is that like an insult to speech therapy and resource kids? I don't know. All I can say is you can start at the bottom and get there. It's very possible. You could start below average like I did. Same thing with like public speaking. Hated public speaking as a kid. Sometimes I would tell my mom I didn't feel good so I can skip out in elementary school from a presentation. I would try to get sick so I wouldn't have to go in. Like, hated public speaking. Did not like it one bit. Still don't like to go up and talk to people or a group of people, got to college and I did so well in my public speaking class that my teacher nominated me for like the showcase, like, which I still denied because to this day I do not like public speaking. I got good at it, still hate it. That's another thing, like, was absolutely terrible at this as a kid now and then became like above average, I guess. My point is, I've done this with like several things, whether it be things I was really bad at as a child or things that I was like okay at and I learned to go with it and become better. That's why I truly believe, guys, if you're trying to write a story like me, it is possible. There are multiple ways to do it. I really want to go the traditional route. Now, will that stay the same during this journey? Maybe not. Maybe I will go self-publishing. Maybe I'll try something else. But as of now, my goal is to be traditionally published. That is my absolute dream right now. But it's about, my goal is to have it 80,000 to 90,000 words. My goal is also to get it completed, drafts done, and hopefully taken in by an agent. We'll see what kind of deadline I have. We'll give myself maybe like a month to finish it up. I feel like that's doable, yeah, like 1 month. But we shall see. I don't expect this series to be like, it works perfectly and every month like this is how it went. I expect to have setbacks. I expect for things to go wrong with either agents or waiting or my motivation for this. This whole point of this series is for me to keep myself accountable, keep focused. I think we can do this. It might not be glamorous in the beginning, but I definitely think I got a shot writing a book. I'd love you guys to read it. I'd love to see everyone in the community chatting about writing because I love writing. I do. It is so much fun. But yeah, stick around, guys. If you want to talk about writing, see more of these fun little characters that I drew, because not only did I want to become a writer at one point, I did want to draw on Webtoon. Sadly, that dream is dead, mainly because it takes me a very long time to draw, which is not good if you want to become a comic artist. I'm too much of a perfectionist and I take a very long time. That in my eyes, it just staring that long at the screen, more strain than writing. So yes, that's a whole nother thing. But yes, I hope you guys enjoy this style and format for my YouTube channel. I hope we're all ready to write and do some new stuff, and I will see you in the next official first episode of this. Bye!